Guys, I've got a video mainly on the Coricancha in Peru. I was just almost at the end of producing a video on the Assyrian in Egypt, and I came across something last night and decided to put this one out instead. There are portions of the Assyrian video within this, just to kind of further my point, what I'm trying to prove here. That one will come out next. I did put out a video, well, I put out two actually, since channel inception. The last one was trying to prove how these walls had been made. I've got a short video at the end from somebody else's channel. He's only put out two videos in, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. I've cut it down, you know, I can play it. The video is trying to prove further my point about how these blocks came about. As usual, it not being cut stone from a quarry somewhere, but it's not what I'd say most people think now, some type of plasticine stone that they've been taking diorite or andesite, granite, and being able to soften the material itself. I don't care about what they're recently coming out with, some kind of lubricant plant mixture to soften the stuff. I just don't believe any of it. All that were out a decade ago when I got into this, right? This is obviously some type of geopolymer mixture, and I can prove that even during the video. It's harder on the outside because it's just something that happens during the hardening process. Yeah, the center of it, you know, like putting something in the oven, like bread, you know, the outside goes harder. I don't know how they made it, but I will show that. And this stuff seems to have been spread into some type of framework, and this framework that's in this wall is not part of the restoration, because I have got a feeling that they will cover this up at some point, because it is kind of obvious that's what it is, you know, especially when you're looking down on the corner area, which I will show. It's been spread into some type of framework, lattice framing, whether wood or metal, and then they've shaped the blocks overall.
In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how the ancient civilizations were able to achieve precise, tight-fitted joinery on their stonework, and I'm also going to give an explanation for the presence of nubs, or those protrusions that you see on the faces of some of the stonework. In the still picture, you see a typical monolith-type construction of wall. This picture is a wall located in Peru. I chose this picture because it has multiple things that it shows that I believe are interesting, and I'm going to leave it up for the good part of this video. In the clay model, I'm drawing out how the people that constructed these walls would have started out, possibly on a large boulder from their quarry site. I'll briefly demonstrate how they would have taken advantage of their natural fault lines in the boulders, but that's not the new or key point of this video. Again, the key point is to explain the reason for those knobs and to show how they might have got those tight-fitting joints. On the clay boulder, I'm using clay tools to remove the clay, but the masons could have used stone hammers to chisel away the stone. First off, they would have removed by planing the face of the limestone or granite a few inches down while working around the layout of the knobs. Now we're going to get into the score lines and the genius. In order to get that groove really deep, they would have had to have widened out that valley. If you want to get a hammer tool in deep, you need to first bevel out those edges. You know, without having a saw that can get down in there really fine. With just a hammer, you're going to have to really bevel those out so you can get that hammer down in there. Now coming up, we're going to cut to a clip where we're just going to go and let that front slab of it fall over. When you fell it like that, like felling a tree, when you fell it, it breaks along the score lines. Just like if you were to score a brick, you know, and you go to break it with a hammer, it's going to break right along that score line. So I think that that's what they did. I think those protrusions there, those protrusions help that break. Those protrusions, those nubs are right on that break line. So it's going to be the first thing to hit the ground. And it's going to really jack those stones and help it break along those score lines. So now they're going to piece those stones together, and it just happens that they fit together perfectly, just to prop it up. But then you would just continue to finish the face of it. You know, if you're either going to remove those knobs or leave them on there. As you can see in that picture, some of them were removed, and the rest of the stone was also further planed to remove those bevels, just like you see in that picture.
I am the Night Rider. I'm a fuel-injected suicide machine.